Hi, I'm Ben,
And I'm Ernie.
And I'm Hannah.
and this is Budget Nerds.
What was all in your mind?
You are not alone.
No, you are not. Welcome back to the show, nerds. Great to have everyone. And Hannah, great to have you as our
Yay.
special guest. In the
Thank
last
you.
episode, we teased. We said, hey, folks, we're going to be doing a pets episode, and we have a special guest. And I know everyone knew it was going to be you. But this has
Did
been
I
a long
know?
time coming. So good to have you here.
Yes. Thank you. Good to be here
Yay.
in a different format.
I know, right? It's exciting.
Now, it's kind of funny because there were a number of episodes ago, Ben and I were talking, I don't know, pets came up, and we're like, oh, we should do a pets episode. We just kind of off the cuff. And then someone in the comments of that video said, yeah, you guys should definitely do a pets episode, and you should have Hannah as a guest. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. I hope she would want to do something like that with us. And I
I
didn't really
hope.
say anything. And I think you were kind of thinking the same thing, like, oh, I hope they ask us because that'd be a lot of fun. So we're both like nervously waiting for the other person.
Oh my gosh.
But it ended up happening. So this is a
Yes.
lot of fun.
So glad to be here. Besides budgeting, I'm mostly passionate about dogs. More so than people.
Love it.
And plants. Dogs, plants, budget.
Perfect. It's like Beats, Bears, Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I love it. And I feel like we got a few perspectives here because I've had a couple dogs throughout my adult life, more when I was a kid, and I have a dog now. Ernie's brand new dog owner for the first time. First time, right,
Yes.
Ernie? Yeah.
In my adult
In your
life,
adult
yes.
yeah. And then, and
Nice.
Hannah, you've had Julep for
Like
3
3
years.
years.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like we run the gamut here. So, yeah. Well, why don't we talk about our pets first?
Yay.
I'll start. I have Bessie Bear Barlow, we call her. She is a Great Dane, 2 years old yesterday. Or no, maybe it was the 6th. I think it's the 16th of January was her birthday. Yeah. So 2 years old. She's full grown now. She's 115 pounds, which is actually small for
My size.
Wow.
right. She's like a human being.
Oh my gosh.
She's actually small for a Great Dane in weight, but
Yeah, wow.
she's a big girl, and it's funny. My whole perspective of dogs has changed. Like every dog looks tiny to me. Like I have a neighbor who has a boxer who was like the biggest dog in the neighborhood. Real sweet dog, but like, yeah, big old dog. And we didn't see them for a while because, like in the wintertime, you don't see your neighbors as much. So they're not out walking as much. And then the spring came around and we saw them and I was like, did you get a new dog? Like, what? It looked tiny, So anyways, so that's me. What about you, Ernie? You tell us about your new pup.
We have Ridge. We call him Ridgeroo. And he's a golden doodle. And he came home at 8 weeks. So that was back in September. And he is now 6 months old. So just a little guy. I mean, he's a mini golden doodle. I think right
Right.
now he's probably at about 35 pounds.
Oh my God.
We're thinking he's going to get to 40, 45 pounds. And just a ball of energy. I mean, he's a pup, but I
Mhm.
think there's like something extra behind him, some extra oomph and
Okay.
energy because, wow, he's a horrible listener, horrible listener, but he's so sweet and we love him to death. I mean, every time he sees me, he gets so excited. His little tail starts wagging. He grabs the nearest toy and he
he's ready
brings
to
it
go.
over, wants to show it to me. So yeah, he's been a lot of fun. It's been really hard, but we love him.
And Hannah, tell us about Julep.
Yeah, I got Julep when she was 4.5 months from a shelter. She was like super anxious and very timid, like afraid to go through doorways. And at the time, I lived by myself. I worked from home, and the pandemic started a few months after. So Julep and I were like two anxious peas in a pod. And, was that a good thing? I don't know. But she'll be 4 in a few weeks. Wow. And she's, we did one of those doggy DNA tests. She's like, 12 different things. But her three top breeds are Chow Chow, which is weird, except that she has a fully purple tongue. American Staffordshire Terrier or Pitbull, I can't remember which one, and German Shepherd. So she's kind of wonky. She looks all American, but at the same time, if you try to like pick a breed that looks like her, you can't find one. So
Yeah, she really is unique and she's beautiful. So yeah,
she's a goof. Her ears are the best. So much emotion in those ears.
yeah, for sure. Love it. And makes a regular appearance in I've heard it from Hannah and in our ads. We have like a whole YNABers probably don't know about this because I don't know, you might not get our ads on Facebook or whatever, but there's a whole ad with Julep. So it's
yeah.
So Jul's pulling her weight.
Yeah, she hasn't been in I used to film out of my house, and so she was there all the time when I filmed, which was awesome when like an innocent grandma walked by and she would start losing her mind at her. Right. But now I film out of another location, and she's not allowed to be there, so she hasn't been in videos in a while, which is why she has to be in all the ads.
There you go.
Well, hopefully Julep makes a guest appearance in Budget Nerds. That's what we're hoping, right?
Yes. This is her spot, which is the only reason I'm sitting in front of our
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to see if the magic happens. Yeah. I mean, I tried to get Bessie in here, but I think cookies are being made and there's smells and she doesn't want to be in here, so she...
Well, Ben, we know that during Budget Nerds recording, the post person always comes through, right?
Yes,
so it's only a matter of time before we hear from Bessie.
But, yes, Bessie loves to bark at the mailman. So, we usually have to take a pause while she collects herself.
And Ridge will not be making an appearance. He has not. My office is downstairs. He has not even seen downstairs at all. So he's upstairs. I'm guessing if he gets out of control with the younger two, we'll hear him barking.
Yeah, because he's still so young. You gotta let them into more and more of the house as they can handle it. Yeah.
We actually just opened up some hallways to him. He's been confined to the kitchen, dining room, and living room, but now he kind of has access to the bedroom areas and hallways, and so he's liking laying on the tile.
Oh, yeah.
Sensation.
Nice and cool. I love it. Oh, that's so cute. Well, we'll show
I remember when I first discovered tile.
Yeah. So if you're listening on the podcast and you want to see pictures, go over to YouTube and we'll show them. We'll show them over there.
There will be plenty. Yeah. Well, should we get into the budget talk?
Yeah. How do we pay for these little fluffer nutters? Is that a term, fluffer nutter? These little guys.
I think that's a sandwich.
Oh yeah, we're talking about sandwiches. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was something.
And we thought it would be fun just to kind of walk through the pet expenses through the eyes of the 4 rules. So talking about monthly expenses, true expenses, how we roll with the punches, and then somehow we're going to figure out a way to apply rule 4 to our pets. So
we'll see if we can make it happen. Oh man. All right. Yeah. So let's talk about it. So I guess as far as rule 1 goes, we can talk about monthly expenses. And then maybe we can talk about the non-monthly when we get to rule 2. So let's talk about food and like how do you handle that? Why don't you start, Hannah? Because I feel like do you still do the doggy daycare things? You did that for a little while. Are you still doing that?
Yes. Not as much. When I was filming at home, I had to kick her out a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But she goes like twice a month now. Yeah, which is kind of sad, but better for the budget.
I think it's good. She can interact with other dogs and stuff. And
yeah, she should go more. Especially because we both work full time. And luckily, Mac, like I start my work day later and he is in manufacturing. So he gets home at like 2:30 or 3. So she's not home by herself for that long, but it's still really, really sad how long she's just hanging out in an empty house. So she needs a buddy or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to convince Mac.
Oh, you want to get another one? We could talk about that.
Oh, I bring it up all the time, and he's always like, "Oh,
there's
sweet that you're trying again."
There's discussion of 2 Great Danes in this house, but I don't know.
Oh my gosh!
I feel like we're at capacity. We have 4 kids in this house, 2 adults, and a human-sized dog, and I'm like, can we get?
That's wild.
You're going to have to move from that paid off mortgage
I know.
into something bigger.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe one day. We'll see. But
that's amazing. Well, Julep's, I guess like monthly bills. It's hard for me because like I budget for everything for her every month, so I think of them all as rule
Totally,
one. But she is like a bougie eater, and I wish that was just by choice, but it's unfortunately metabolically and medically necessary. So we do like a subscription dog food, and yeah, luckily we've got it down to a cheaper one. At one point, we were paying for food that costs more. Our groceries.
Oh no.
So, yeah, I think the less anxious we can help her be, the better she eats and the better she digests. So we're just like, okay, how can we calm you down so that you can eat Costco food one day?
Right.
But yeah, so our dog food, and then we use Spot and Tango, by the way, if anyone's wondering. We also do pet insurance, which we use Bivy, and I got in with Bivy like right at the start, and I think right when it came to Kansas, and it was only $10 a month, and I was grandfathered into that price, and I still pay that.
Hanging on.
Now,
Nice. I want to talk more about pet insurance maybe when we get to the Rule 2 stuff.
Yeah, we'll dig into that.
'Cause I'm interested in that. But yeah, that's good to know. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and honestly, those are her only like diehard expenses. Everything else is kind of like true expenses. I guess another one I have is, I call it pup supplies, but it's where she gets like treats or a nail trim or a new toy. Yeah. So even though it seems more like a true expense, because sometimes we never spend out of it in a month, and other times we like spend twice what we're supposed to in a month. So
yeah, I hear you. Okay, cool. What about you, Ernie? What are some monthly bills for the pupper? I mean, you're probably still figuring it out, yeah? Like it's
that's the thing. At first, we ran every Ridge expense through just one category. I think we called it Ridge. And I'm like, after a couple months of that, I'm like, I need a better handle on how much is going to food and medical and grooming and stuff like that. And, pretty much at the beginning, everything was an immediate obligation, right? We were paying for all those things in the current month. But now they're starting to settle down a little bit, and I really appreciate that. So the month-to-month expenses, probably food. I mean, we have a food subscription as well, I think through TLC, and that's every other month, but we're constantly buying snacks for Ridge, especially for training purposes, right? And so Christy's always buying those, and then medical has slowed down. So we do have pet insurance, so that's a monthly expense. And then we have a fun category for Ridge, and so every month we have actually, I don't know if this is ridiculous or not, but he has 2 like puppy box subscriptions.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
2 of them?
2 of them. He's got a pup box
amazing.
that comes, and we pay for that every single month. And then Christy's like, I love this so much. I am going to buy Ridge. I'm going to prepay for a year of boxes with my own money. Oh, and I think that's like a bark box. So he is so spoiled.
He's got everything.
That's amazing.
I love it.
Wow. Julep used to get the bark
What kind
box.
of stuff do you get in there?
It's
Like, tell me about that, because I haven't never tried the puppy subscription thing.
It's so cute.
You get treats and toys, right? That's what we're getting.
Yeah, but it's always on a theme. Like in July, it'll be like barbecue. Julep got a cooler that had a can of beer that she had to figure out how to pull out. Stuff like that. I don't know.
So it's like a little activity, and then toys and stuff.
Yeah, I don't. And we actually, so Julep is Bessie here?
Bessie is scratching at the door. Hang on.
Speak of the Bessie. Can I talk while he's gone?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay. Julep maybe she'll bring one over, but she annihilates her toys. Like if you give her a stuffed toy, it is de-stuffed in like 15 minutes. So we upgraded to the, what is it called? The bark box, but for chewers.
Okay. I don't know. We're not there yet, but.
Yeah. And then she just was literally eating like plastic or rubber or whatever. And I was like, we should probably just stop doing this. But if she ever comes over here, she'll probably bring either her watermelon or her mushroom. And it is they're called Rip Roarin' Tough Toys or something like that. And they are actually indestructible, and they're the best. So hopefully she brings one.
That's good to know.
I love it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
speaking of those themes, the January theme we just got a pup box a couple days ago was aliens or outer space or something like that. So we got these
Yeah.
alien toys.
Whose job
and-
is it to come up with these themes? I love it.
Oh.
They got the best
That'd be a
job.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Probably my dream job outside of the one I already have.
Right. Well, Betsy has
All
arrived.
right, how are you, Ben?
Betsy's arrived.
Monthly expenses.
She's come into her couch, which is really her couch. Actually, this is another
That's
expense. We're
amazing.
thinking about buying. You know, those vacuums you can rent. Oh, the Rug Doctor. You know, you can
Yep.
rent
Oh,
these
yeah.
vacuums, where you can it's like you can clean upholstery or carpets with super fancy. We're thinking about buying one of those, to purchase, not like a Rug Doctor, but like something like
Nice.
it's like a wet shampoo vacuum thing. Anyway, basically to clean this couch. And other,
Oh my gosh.
because Great Danes are very slobbery, and it's pretty gross.
Yep.
So, anyways, all right, yeah. So that's a true expense we can talk about. Yeah, as you can probably expect, feeding this girl's pretty expensive.
Do you know how many calories she eats a day?
Well, I don't know how many. Actually, that's a good question. I don't know how many calories. Here, I can show you. Hang on. I'm just getting up a lot today. Hang on.
That's all right. Hannah and I will carry it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about Julep is we did all this blood work on her, tests, because she just would get sick all the time. And finally,
food bin. Okay.
nice.
Can you hear me?
Yikes.
Wheels.
That's like a 6-month
Let me put
supply
my-
for
My
Ridge.
thing's back on here. Oh no, Betsy thinks she's getting fed right now. She's like, what's going on? So this is her food bin. I put a whole 50-pound bag of kibble in here, right? And I put that in the bathroom. And she takes 6 cups of kibble a day. So
Oh.
so we
Oh
feed her
my
twice a day,
gosh.
3 cups each meal. And
Wow.
yeah, it's a lot. But luckily, she doesn't have the restrictions that Julep has, so we can just feed her kibble. But it's a little fancier. It's a little bit on the bougier side of the kibble, you know. Like I get the science diet, fancy stuff. You know, it's
Nice.
what the vet recommended. So it's not the bottom of the. It's not the bottom shelf stuff, but it is still
Yeah.
kibble, and she's fine.
Hannah, how many cups of food does Julep get?
Okay, yeah. So we took her to the vet to figure out what was going on with her digestion because she was losing a ton
Oh,
of weight
no.
and it was really scary. And they were like, yeah, she has an insane metabolism. And at the time, they prescribed her 1,500 calories a day
Wow.
to put the weight back on, which dogs her size and age and everything normally are recommended 700.
Right.
So she was
Oh,
eating
okay.
twice as much as other dogs. But now she eats 1,000 a day, which still seems wild because she's only 50 pounds. She's a medium-sized
Right.
dog. She just blazes through food. Here she comes. Come here, lady. Want to sit up here? Also, lady is her
Oh.
unofficial name. She's always
Just
lady.
call her lady. I like that.
Or Juju or Juju lady. There's so many variations.
We all got those 1,000 different
She's
names for our pets. I want to
Camera
see.
shot. Oh,
I'm
there we
really curious now, Hannah, how many calories my dog eats every day because I never.
Yeah, I have no idea with
6
calories.
cups.
I'm actually looking on
Yeah.
Chewy, not a sponsor. And
Ridge is at 3 cups of food, and he just hit this weird stage. I think this is normal, where he was eating 3 times a day, sometimes 4 times a day, smaller amounts, and just would love mealtime. He would go crazy when we would serve him food. Now he's just meh, no big deal.
Oh.
Kind of just passes on it. And we're thinking, okay, maybe we need to dial this back to 2 times a day, kind of what Bessie's at. Just not as much.
Wow.
Not nearly as much.
yeah,
Julep is always ravenous, but we
Okay.
feed her 3 times a day because if her stomach gets empty, she
can't handle it.
won't be able. She'll be sick for the next 24
Oh,
hours.
no.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's
Not fun.
special needs. Yeah.
Hey, you're good dog, mama. It's sweet. Yeah, we fed
Yeah.
Bessie 3 times a day when she was Reg's age too, because they just need it a
Okay.
little more often. I feel like at that point.
Right, they're growing so much.
Yeah, and they're just always hungry. At first they just wolf down Bessie will sometimes leave a little bit of the food, which I think you're supposed to take it up. Actually, I don't know. Anyways, so
That's
she's
wild.
gotten a little more chill, but yeah,
Yeah, I remember those beginning months where Ridge would eat so fast. And so we kept buying all these different dishes to try to slow down
we
that
got her a slow
process.
feeder too. Yeah,
Oh my goodness, the slow feeders, the Kongs, I
Yeah.
feel like we have 12 of them around the house right now.
Yeah. It kind of takes over everything. Yeah, we had a slow feeder for Bessie because she would just wolf it down, and then she would throw it up because she ate too fast and she didn't chew anything at all.
Comes out whole.
Yeah.
So gross.
It's
Julep
gross.
has a slow feeder, and it took her from like 25 seconds to like 45 seconds. Wow, she's really yawning back there.
Yeah, that's sweet.
To add to her level of bougie and medically unfortunate, we have it's actually an automatic dog food dispenser, but we just put treats in there. And for a while, it was giving her like a few treats every 2 hours. Now we've bumped it to every 3 hours because we're trying to like wean her off. That's so ridiculous. But yeah, she gets a lot of
It's
food.
not ridiculous at all. It's what you need to do. It's important.
Yeah.
I Googled my dog food and calories. I'm not finding any. How many calories? Okay. Okay,
depends
here we go.
on- yeah.
373 calories per cup for for the large breed formula of the Purina Pro plan. All right, so that's per cup. So that's 2,000
Almost 2,000 calories.
2,238 calories a day.
Oh my gosh.
that's a human.
It's probably more than
That feels like a
yeah.
lot for wait, no. Wait, is that right? Set times 6. I'm so good at math. That's why I work at a budgeting company. 2,238. Yeah, okay. So
Wow.
that feels like a lot for because like a human that's 115
Well,
pounds probably wouldn't need that much.
Okay, but I'm 115 pounds. And like they say 2,000 calories is like
Yeah, I guess that's pretty normal.
you
Yeah.
know, the gold diet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And she's a dog, so it's different. Dogs are different from humans, I hear.
knows?
But anyways,
Yeah.
man, I never thought about that. That's crazy.
That's wild. You could just
Plus
have
all the
me as
food
a
that
pet.
my baby drops on the floor, which is a lot.
Oh.
So I'm actually pretty
That's
annoyed
awesome.
with Bessie because she's picky about human food, which I guess is a good thing. Because
Yeah, I think so.
because we got her when she was a puppy, and I've had a dog that we got from a shelter like after they're a year old, and you can't unteach them all sorts of things. So like she doesn't beg for food because we never feed her from the table. Although now we do because we have a 1-year-old who's dropping food on the floor. But like one reason why you have a dog is to be a vacuum cleaner and pick up all the food or mess that falls on the floor. And she just like will reject almost everything. Like
That's
it's
weird.
annoying. Like she
Well,
won't eat unless it's like meat, basically. Yeah. I'm annoyed because like there's things that you think she would eat, and I'm like, why don't you eat it? Now I have to get a broom. Like you're my broom. That's why this is your job. But anyways. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So Ben, did you finish talking about your
Oh no, I
monthly
didn't.
expenses
Okay.
for Bessie?
Yeah, so food is $85 a month for that.
There we go. Back on track.
Yeah, I'll give the dollar amount. Yeah, we do $85 a month for food, which is a lot for kibble. So that's one thing. And then the only other monthly is what I call incidentals, which is toys, grooming equipment, anything like that comes up. Although I feel like we haven't really spent that. I do $20 a month for that. We haven't really been spending that much though. I think in part because my family and my neighbors love Bessie so much they like bring toys. Like I have a neighbor who's like got her a ton of toys. So
That's so sweet.
So and my sister is Bessie's favorite person in the entire world. Like she loves her more than anybody in our family. And when she comes by, she just loves her. So she's got her stuff. So yeah, we haven't really had to get her too many toys, but yeah, so might need to revisit that. But we do $20 a month for incidentals. That's the only monthly thing. But yeah.
I have a story about neighbors giving toys. So there's this guy in my old neighborhood who was a little like borderline. I was uncomfortable around him.
Yeah, we all have that neighbor.
Yeah. So he would we would run into each other walking each other's walking our own dogs. And he, like, I told him Julep's name was Julep, and he remembered that for a while. And then one day he just switched to calling her Heidi. And he called he called her Heidi for a year, and I just let it happen because I was like, honestly, I hate to say this, but I don't want to talk to you, and so I'm not going to correct you. I'm just going to keep going. And one day we ran into someone else on a walk, and they were like, Julep, how are you doing? And he was like, what? Why are you calling Heidi? What are you? And I had to be like, yeah, I'm sorry. I just let you call her the wrong name for a year. And then a day or two later, he pulls into my driveway, which again, I'm like,
yikes.
Opens his trunk. I'm watching this all from my upstairs bedroom window and pulls out this bone that is like, I don't even know if you can, like, huge.
Too much.
Dinosaur bone.
Is it like one of those? Is it one of those bones that's like you get a store where it's like, this is actually a bone. Like, this is from a cow.
Oh.
Like,
I mean, Julep literally ate the whole thing. Like, she consumed it. So I don't think, I mean, it was from something, but it wasn't like the highest quality bone because she just chomped through it. But I mean, it lasted her a few months and it like weighed so much, but I was like, I don't know. Was I grateful for the gift? I don't know.
Did he feel bad for calling Julep the wrong name for so long?
Yeah. That was his like peace offering or whatever, which really, if sweet, anyone should have like gotten someone a gift, it probably should have been me to him. Right. Letting him live a lie for a year.
That's so funny.
That's okay.
I love it.
And then I moved.
And then end of the story. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, should we talk about Rule 2 expenses then? Are we good on the Rule 1 stuff? Not the monthly stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Hannah, Rule 2.
Yeah, what are non-monthly expenses?
Okay. This is where it gets fun. So we put $50 into a vet fund every month, which luckily we haven't had to go besides like vaccinations for daycare in a long time. So that's great. We used to go all the time. Like the vet, I'm pretty sure, hated us because I was there like every month. And Julep is not super, she doesn't love the vet. So she wouldn't treat them the best always. Anyway. So daycare, we buy daycare days in bulk, like 30 at a time. So it's like when you do buy them, it's like $600, but it's way cheaper to buy the huge like package than I think one day of daycare. Currently, the prices are about to go up. I think it's $26 a day, but if you buy it in bulk, it's like $18 or something like that. So we put money, it's like, it ends up being like $80 a month, I think, because we take a whole year to use all 30 days. So there's that. We put $150 into a boarding category every month so that when we travel, she goes, it's called Woof's Play and Stay, and it's the best.
Love it.
Like, she's out playing with other dogs from 8 to 5, and it's, so great. A little more expensive, but we could like board her at our vet, but then she's literally in a kennel or peeing, and those are the two things she does the whole time. So we love Woofs. She loves Woofs. It's one of her like trigger words. She's
really?
asleep right now. Otherwise, she would probably be like, "What?"
Oh, that's so cute.
We put $5 in a heartworm meds category every month, just because it's like an expense that just sneaks up on you, and it's a lot when you do have to pay it. Yeah. And then I think I'm wrong about this. I heard that your dog should get their first dental, like tooth cleaning at 5 years. I think it's actually 2 years. So I've been like slowly putting like $25 a month in this category, which her teeth already look like crap. So we probably should speed that up and get her teeth
I feel like
cleaned,
this is a new thing. Like when I was growing up, I feel like nobody like brush their dog's teeth.
No.
But like I feel like part of me wonders, I'm like, is this real or is this like a way for vets to get more money? I don't know. But it's probably real. But but yeah, I feel like it's a thing. Like, oh yeah, you gotta take care of the dog's teeth. And I'm like, okay, I guess so. So
I've never brushed Julep's
I've never brushed Bessie's teeth either, which is clear because
never brushed Ridge's.
Is that a thing? Tell us in the comments. Are we terrible pet owners for not brushing our dog's teeth? How does that work? I mean, I don't know how Bessie would let me do it, actually. My last dog, Lily, would never let me brush her teeth. That would be a no-go. Bessie's pretty chill. So, as the vet said, Bessie has a great temperament. I was talking. I'll tell a little story. I hate to sorry to interrupt the rule too, but I was talking to the vet, and this vet is like an academic. You know what I mean? Like she was like, she's like nerdy with it, and she's like telling me about all these. She had like a little stomach thing, and she's like, oh yeah, there's this particular virus going around, and it's, she like described it all. It was like so funny. And I'm like, okay, I don't need to know all the details. But and then she said, she gave me all these details about Bessie and what kind of food she needed. And like, it was all in academic language. And then she was like, and she has a great temperament. You have a good dog here. And I just thought it was like such a funny way to say, like, you have a really good puppy. So sometimes I'll like rub her face and be like, do you have a good temperament? You have such a good temperament. So anyways.
Is that a Great Dane thing though? Like, are they really chill?
I think generally, I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on the dog, but she's particularly like submissive and chill, which is good because like if I want her to move, like I couldn't, if she didn't want to move, like she wouldn't move. Like now, like what we'll do, I'll let her in our bed, for like half an hour while I read in bed before I go to sleep, but like she can't stay there because she's too big and she's like a furnace. So, so she doesn't sleep there. So I'll move her, and like the way I move her is say like, okay, go to bed, which means go to her little dog bed, and she looks at me like, like what? I can't hear you, and she'll like kind of protest a little bit, but eventually she'll get up and she'll go. And I just keep thinking like, what if one day she just decided like, oh, I don't have to obey you, like I can't move her. Like I can't make her. So anyways, I'm very grateful she has a good temperament and she listens to me, so it's good. Anyways,
must be nice, Ben.
Hey, Ridge will come around. Ridge will get there. He's just a little puppy right now.
A little pup in his angsty teenage month, I think.
You're not the boss of me. Yeah. Anyways, sorry, I interrupted rule 2. So you were talking about dental stuff. So.
Oh, I think that's it. We're just putting money in there, and because they're expensive, like $500. I don't want to be caught off guard.
Well, that's something maybe I should look into that, because it's probably for a dog Bessie's size. It's probably like 3 times that. they charge extra for the size. So I could look into that. What about you, Ernie? What are you doing for Rule 2 non-monthly stuff?
Food, $50. So I said we have that food subscription every 2 months, and then we buy snacks. So the snacks are a monthly thing, and those are just a few here and there. And so we have money that is available at the end of the month, rolls over, and then, every 2 months for that food subscription. Grooming, that's like an every 2 month thing. And so we do $75 there. That includes, the haircut, the bath, the nail clipping. Medical, so the monthly expense is the $30 for pet insurance. We use Trupanion, and then we have $70 roll over and contribute to medical. And at first, medical was definitely a monthly expense. There were just so many things. There was, oh my goodness, diarrhea episodes. And
every puppy gets worms.
So
at some
glad
point.
I lived in a rental.
We had to deworm Bessie. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
We had to call poison control. Within our first month or so, I was out in the backyard doing some yard work. I removed a bush, and then I, dug holes in the stumps, and I was putting some root killer in there, brush killer, because I wanted to kill those off. No. It let them kind of like deteriorate over the winter, so that I could remove them in the spring. And so I filled up the holes with this poison, and it was just slowly soaking into the roots. And then Ridge came out for a bathroom break. Christy had him, and Christy and I got to talking, and we just kind of wandered throughout the backyard, as Ridge is kind of walking, whatever. And all of a sudden I look up and he's licking the stump. And just like my stomach just drops. And the panic hits in, like, how much of it did he get? How much was actually in the stump at the time?
Right. Yeah.
And so $100 to call poison control, and everything ended up being absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But, there was that panic at first. That was not fun.
I also love that instinct to just like lick a stump.
Yeah, that's puppies, man. They'll just eat everything.
Oh my goodness.
I guess their tongues are like their hands. It's how they explore
just
the
like
world,
toddlers,
but-
everything goes in the mouth. So it's just how it is.
And then the Ridge Fun category, that's kind of one of those where, yeah, it's a monthly and it's also a non-monthly. So we put 75 in, and then stuff carries over for toys or supplies and stuff like that. So I think that is about it for the true expenses.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. For me, non-monthly. Let's see. Okay, so medicine, I do $25 a month because I'll buy medicine for her once a year. I have like a 3-in-1 pill I give her that does like all the scary worms, and ticks is a big thing, and fleas. So because we have tons of ticks here in Virginia, and so they'll like the ticks will get on her and bite her, but as soon as they bite her, they die and they like shrivel off. So that is a thing. She can like track ticks in sometimes, but it's life, that's how it is. But so yeah, that's super important, is to have the tick medicine. And so we do that. And then next one, we also board her when we travel. We do $35 a month for that. That's always been a struggle, trying to get the right number for that.
Yeah.
I could wrap it in with travel, but I'm never really sure we have it right. So I think it's working for now, but yeah, we do that. And then I have a vet category that I put $25 a month in, just for any one-off random stuff that happens. That is not nearly enough. So I want to talk about pet insurance a little bit, but maybe we can talk about that later, because I wonder if this could help with like maybe even out some of these expenses, because I looked at my reports and average spending, I think since I did a new budget, or maybe it's I think it's since I did a new budget, but it's $220 a month. So for vet stuff. So
yeah, you're way off there, Ben.
I'm a little bit off.
About 200
and like
off.
it's not like, I mean, it's not really following rule 2, but like it is something that like we can cash flow with other categories if something happens. But I'd rather not do that. So I might want to up that at least a little bit, maybe not all the way to 220, because hopefully she won't have. It's one of those things like you don't think there's going to be something, but then there's something. She's had several surgeries she's had to have, so I can talk about her surgeries. You want to hear about her surgeries?
Yeah. What? Wait. And how old is
She's
she?
2 years old. So
2 and multiple.
yeah, she's had some stuff. Well, one was we got her spayed. That's a routine normal surgery.
yeah.
But we also
Classic.
got, I don't know what to call it. I call it a tummy tuck. That's what I called it as like a joke. It's not a tummy tuck, obviously, but I called it that as a joke. But basically, so Great Danes, any big dog, but especially Great Danes, are really prone to bloat. Have you heard of that? It's what killed Marley in Marley and Me. If you ever watched that movie.
Oh, you said that so starkly.
Okay, we're gonna get a little dark here. So bloat is basically like their stomachs can twist, and it can kill a dog within like hours. So it's like scary.
Okay.
So that's what killed Marley, and so that's what I always think. Anyways, so what they do when we got her spayed, since they were like already doing surgery, they said we could do this extra thing where basically they sew her stomach like to her abdomen. It's crazy, and it greatly reduces the risk of bloat. So.
Okay.
Oh my
yeah, it can still
God.
happen, but yeah, it's it's kind of intense. But yeah, we did that, and that gives me a lot of peace of mind, because it's one of those things that can be a little scary. If anybody who has a big dog probably knows all about this.
It's just certain breeds that
Yeah,
are
mostly
prone
like
to it?
the larger the dog, the more prone they are to it. Is what I'm told. So yeah,
Jeez.
so yeah, it's a thing. The tummy tuck. That's what I call it. I don't know why I call it that. And then she had another surgery. She had like a deformity in one of her eyes. I think this is like a
Oh.
like if I had a mutt, this would have never happened. You know what I mean? This is like a breeding thing. Maybe we did.
Good American
I mean, we
dog.
definitely got her from like a good breeder, and like like we were really careful about that. But like there's stuff. I thought it was what's called the cherry eye, which is actually a pretty common thing for a lot of dogs, where like basically there's this membrane on their eye that kind of comes out, and it shouldn't. It's gross. Anyways, I thought it was that, but it wasn't that. She had like some kind of special deformity. So they actually had, because do you know dogs have a third eyelid? They have like another eyelid under their eyelid that like helps with moisturizing. Anyways, I might be not really know what I'm talking about, but anyways, so
I believe you.
Anyways,
I've seen that on
that
cats.
was deformed, and they had to like cut part of it, and so it would lay flat. So it was a whole thing. So we got that done. We thought we were gonna have to have the other eye done, but it's been like a year or so, and she hasn't had to. So I think, I'm knocking on wood, I don't think that'll be a problem. And then she had a cyst, like a little lump that kept getting infected. We recently got that removed, so that was
that's quite a bit.
Bessie's seen a lot
chunk
of things.
Change. So,
in her
and they
2
weren't like
years.
terribly expensive, but they were a chunk of change. I mean, not as bad as let me tell you about all my pet drama. So my last dog, Lily, who we no longer have anymore, sadly, she had to get well, not a surgery, but a visit to the emergency vet, because I came home one day, my whole family was out, and she was out in the backyard, and I have a big fenced-in backyard, and a lot of it's like in the woods, so it's like really awesome for a dog. And she was out there. I came home, and she was like kind of coming up to the gate, like all sleepy, and I thought she'd been like sleeping in the sun, but instead I realized like, oh, something's wrong, and she had a stick like stuck in her armpit, like right here. Okay, it was like that far in, and I think she was probably chasing a squirrel, and she jumped into something that stuck her. So we had to go to the emergency vet, and that was a big chunk of change. But I was so grateful. I mean, when I talk about workshops, I tell about this story a lot, because I was just so grateful to have an emergency fund in that situation. Like, I didn't have to worry about money, just took care of my dog. It's good. So anyway, so yeah, so if you get a pup, the emergencies go up. So anyways, so all those surgeries that we cash flowed, because we knew about it ahead of time, or we just moved some money from other categories. But as I was preparing for this episode, and I saw $25 in the vet category, I'm like, that target is pretty low. I don't think that's right.
Oh, man.
And then I looked at the reports, and lo and behold, yes, that is definitely not right.
You could keep it lower if you had pet insurance.
So tell me about the pet insurance.
Yeah.
Would the cyst removal be covered by pet insurance? How does that work? Do y'all know? How does this work?
Mine, so we use Bivy, and you can get 2 options. You can get like the basic, which covers like, I don't know, non-routine stuff. And then if you want everything covered, like just wellness checkups and vaccinations, I think, you can get like, I don't know, Bivy Plus or whatever. And so it's $10 a month for the basic, or well, that's what I pay. I think now it might be based on your dog's weight or something.
Yeah, it's going to be the most expensive for mine.
Yeah,
probably. But it might be worth it,
I don't know. I think their thing is like equal pet insurance for all
they spread out the costs properly.
They have a differentiator. Yeah. The insurance that covers everything, like even the routine stuff, is I think $19 a month is what it'd be for us. So it's double. But any expense that qualifies, I get a 50% reimbursement.
Okay, nice.
Like pretty much no questions asked. I just send the vet bill, and then so we got some blood work done on her. They had to like put her under because she doesn't love
she
the
wouldn't
vet.
chill.
And yeah, we got like $300, just a check in the mail, reimbursed from that. And then there was another time we got a $250 reimbursement. So, I mean, you have to be spending money to get money back. I think we just got, we're trying out an anxiety medication for her, which right now it seems to be working, but no one's walked by or come in our house. So, and it was like, in the end, we got them compounded into treats instead of just pills. And in the end, it ended up being like $80. And I tried to submit that, and it does cover prescriptions, but there was some kind of deductible that we had to meet first. So we'll just have to.
As insurance goes, it's complicated, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that was my question, Hannah. Is there a deductible? So you said there's for prescription. What about for the other services? Any deductible you had to meet there?
I could tell you if I looked it up. We could pull it up and see.
Pull it up.
I know there's like a $2,500 something or other. Insurance, honestly, it's mostly over my head.
I think that's by design sometimes. So.
And like, I kind of have a somewhat of a handle on our human insurance,
right?
And then I'm like, oh,
even that.
The pet insurance will be similar, and it's not. Oh my goodness.
Well, it sounds like it could be worth it though. I hear good things from like really universally. I feel like everybody's had good experiences with pet insurance, so it might be worth it.
Yeah. So mine says $10 monthly premium, $2,000 annual payout limit. It doesn't say deductible, although I got an email about that lifetime limit, $25,000. Good to know.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, that's weird. There's not actually, so $2,000 coverage a year.
Okay.
But let me find that email that said why they could cover it. I was kind of bummed, you know?
I'm sure there's always going to be that kind of thing with insurance, but it might help with some of the big things. I mean, like I feel like probably maybe the two of those surgeries, like the eye deformity and the cyst removal, that seems pretty unexpected thing it might cover.
Oh yeah, those would be covered for sure.
Darn.
So it says,
well, can I go back in time and get it?
You do have to have it for like 2 months or something before you file any claims.
Very smart of them, because you can totally like find out, I got to get my dog surgery. Let's get the insurance. You can't buy the house insurance while your house is on fire. It's not allowed.
Yeah. My Bivy policy has a $250 annual deductible.
Okay.
So the deductible is reduced to $163 now. So I guess if we keep getting
if you keep going,
meds, eventually it'll be reimbursed.
Well, maybe I'll give that a try.
Yeah.
Well, let me share my pet insurance, because Ben, I don't think those surgeries would be covered under our plan. Okay. So we use Trupanion, not endorsing them or anything, just sharing my experience here. And I think honestly, we stuck with Trupanion because that's who the breeder was using with Ridge. And so it was a really easy transition. Plus, we were fine with the price, and we pay $30 a month. But we have a $750 deductible. And I thought, that's an annual deductible. And so then anything above and beyond, is going to be reimbursed to us. And I don't know if there's limits, yearly limits or lifetime limits. I don't know. I got lost in those details. But it turns out it's a $750 deductible per issue, right? If Ridge has $750 of diarrhea issues, well, then that next diarrhea issue will be reimbursed.
I see.
That's on us.
Wow. I see. So like not per like event, like per like medical issue. I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So
I'm sure there's like 1,000 ways these plans are structured. So you just
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, just at face. What is it? Face value here?
Yeah.
I kind of like what I'm hearing from Hannah's plan.
Yeah. I just looked it up. It says you pay $14 per month for any pet, regardless of age, size, gender, or breed. Plus, your cost won't go up just because you make a claim. So it
sounds
stays
like a good deal for me.
Unless you joined when I...
Hannah, you're paying for my large dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. It sounds like a good deal if you have a giant dog, because you don't get...
Yeah, but it's been super easy. Just anytime we go to the vet for something non-routine, I just like upload the bill and then they let me know if I got anything wrong.
You just ask, and if they say no, then okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right.
Yeah, so we've made a number of claims, haven't gotten anything back, right? Haven't hit that $750 limit. But I think the other piece here is, Ridge is a pup. And so we didn't have any medical history there. And so we were really unsure, and we were first-time pet owners. So just clueless as to what is coming down the pipeline. Right. And so I think there was a peace of mind involved when we signed up for this plan, but maybe once we get a year in or a couple of years in, have a better handle on, health.
Have a few surgeries down.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make a change. A few more diarrhea episodes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man, the diarrhea is real.
Well, and I think it might be a good idea for me too, because I mean, real talk here, another thing about large dogs and Great Danes, they don't live as long. So like, like the end of life expensive things could come sooner rather than later, so it's not going to be for a long time though. But, I do think about that with Bessie, because, they have so much love to give. They just can't live here very long compared to other dogs. So that's part of the deal, So yeah. Oh, sleeping little Julep.
Yeah, she's sleeping the day away.
Bessie's sleeping too.
Probably what she does all day when we're
that's
gone.
what dogs
Sometimes
do.
we put on Bob's Burgers for her.
Really? That's adorable.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's adorable. I love it.
She's never told us she likes Bob's Burgers, but we like it.
I like the idea, kind of gives her a little human company. And Bob's got good character, I feel like. So,
Yeah. Good family values.
Exactly. Oh, man.
Lots of meat.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. All right. Well, rule 3. I guess I feel like I've already talked about my rule 3 things, rolling with the punches on all these different things. Have there been any punches that y'all have rolled with over the years or over the 6 months?
Well, Ridge was a rolling with the punches. So
not planned. So you were the classic dad of like, no dogs. Then you finally gave in after they wore you down over years.
I really was. Christy really wanted a dog. The boys have been wanting one. And Christy's been kind of watching, for years. And Ridge came through and it just all happened. But we had this chunk of money from the sale of our previous house, kind of been earmarking it for renovations and different projects around the house. And so that was right there. Take a chunk of that and let's buy this dog. Let's get all the supplies and, everything to get up and running. And so that was a huge rule 3 expense. And then moving forward through those first couple months, it feels like that is all we are doing every single month, right? Every single purchase. Oh, we depleted the category.
Yeah.
We went over.
Well, you have no idea. You've never had a dog before.
No idea.
And it's a new dog. And yeah, it's going to be like that. I mean, it's okay. It's going to take a while to figure it out. So just lean on rule 3, especially right now.
And Christy has found she just loves buying for Ridge. Really fun for her. So she's been using a lot of her personal money, which she had saved up so much money over the years.
Okay.
But now you just kind of watch that deplete as she buys all these things for Ridge. Yeah.
I love that.
I love that she's all in with it. It's so great. I mean, she's been waiting for this dog for a while, it sounds like, Ernie. So
Yeah.
Yes, they all have been.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So now that Julep's almost 4, I got her when she was 4.5 months. I feel like we pretty much have, 3.5 years later, we have our expenses pretty nailed down. But yeah, pup supplies is one of those categories where, like I said, sometimes we spend nothing from it. And sometimes it's like, oh, we got a nail trim and like a new harness and blah, blah, blah. And it's overspent. And then our day play category on the flip side. Oh, she's awake.
Hey, Julia.
The daycare category. Also, while she's awake, I have to show off her neck.
Oh yeah. She's such a loosey-goosey girl.
She's trying to go back to sleep. She has a lot of it's a fighting breed.
Oh, is it really?
They have a lot of extra neck skin, like a lot. It's insane.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so much more to snuggle with, huh?
Yeah. It's kind of gross when you see it from down below.
No, it's
if
not.
you're ever laying on the ground and she stands over
you. It's not gross. You're beautiful.
She is beautiful.
She really is.
Her day play category, because it's something we're literally saving for all year, we actually steal from that one because it's like, oh, if we steal from it now, we have 5 more months to make it up. So it's like, in a way, our buffer category at times for other expenses. But yeah, she's been pretty like unproblematic the last year. So like that category is good. We haven't had to like shuffle money around, knock on wood. So,
nice.
But yeah.
All right. Yeah, and that's for me. I mean, I talked about the random surgeries that I clearly had to roll with the punches for because I was not saving enough.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I didn't feel like bad about any of those. It was worth it, And
Oh yeah.
yeah, we've gotten the food has been a funny thing for me because I order from Chewy again. Not a sponsor, but something that we do. And yeah, it just kind of comes on a subscription, which is really nice. But it comes every 5 weeks, and I've actually had to like figure it out. I've got it down to like a science. Like it arrives on the doorstep like right when we're running out of food, and it's kind of awesome because I needed to be that way because this container that I use
Oh yeah.
only holds one bag of food, and I don't want the bag lying around anyway.
Yeah, it's a big bag.
Yeah, I've talked about that container in our last episode, I think. Anyways, yeah, I got it down to a science, but I was just like so confused. I'm like, how do I do this in YNAB? Because it's every 5 weeks, so it's not. I figured out that like once a year or so, or something like that, there's going to be a month where we don't we don't need to spend anything. And so I feel so silly because I made like a forecasting spreadsheet, and I was like, okay, if we add this amount up front and then this amount every month will be good until like 2023, but then we go negative, and I'm like, this is like so nerdy. Like it was just, I did not need to do this. And then I realized, so I got like a number that would like make it so we're good until like 2024. And then I realized YNAB has a target for this. It's a needed for spending monthly target. And if I have a month where I don't spend the money, then it won't prompt me to budget. It will, it'll say you don't need to add more the next month. So like, it's fine. I just, so yeah. I was so confused. I was just like trying to figure out, because this is just me. I always like to have like an optimal amount that I'm budgeting toward a category, but I realized that the softwares already have the solution for this, and so I just use the software solution, and now I don't have to worry about it. So I budget $85 a month for the food, and if every once in a while, because it's every 5 weeks, there's a month we don't have to pay for it, then the next month we just won't budget for it, and I'll be fine.
That's a bonus.
It's a bonus, exactly. So.
Nice. We love that.
So, anyways, that's not a roll of the punch thing, though. Yeah, as far as Rule 3 goes, yeah, just those surgeries really have been the big things. Like my year in review, we talked about last year was large rolling with the punches on a 5-figure scale a lot. So that was not a 5-figure, 4-figure. Yes. 3 or 4-figure scale. so yeah, I've not had any 5-figure surgeries for Bessie, thank goodness. That would be too much. That would be crazy. No. Yeah, it's been just big expenses, but we were able to roll with it. And some of those we, like when we got our spade, obviously we knew about that ahead of time. It was funny because we're supposed to, I always thought like you get a dog, get them spayed right away, but with Great Danes, they take a long time to mature and like get full grown, so like, and you're actually, because of hormones and stuff, you're like actually supposed to wait to spade them or neuter them until later. So we didn't get her spayed until like a year and a half.
Sad.
So we had a while to save for that.
Much more than
yeah. So that was interesting. I was expecting to be like, oh yeah, we need to get spayed, and then I did the research, and it's like, no, and our vet told us too, like, no, you really should wait until she's a little bigger and more full grown, and yeah.
Dang.
So we waited a while.
Wow.
But yeah, it was good.
Julep came pre-spayed at 4.5 months. So
there you go. Yeah, and our last dog
must be very different.
Yeah, well, it's just big dog thing, I think. So it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah, and of course, if they come from the shelter, they're all going to be spayed because that's what the shelter does. So and that's good. That's how it should be done. So yeah,
so regal, right?
I love it. Bessie is. I don't know if can y'all see her? Is she even there?
Yeah.
Okay. She's in screen. Okay. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the male person
The mailman
to drop off the mail.
The mailman has not come by, and it's afternoon now already. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe we didn't have any mail today. But so no barking dog. Maybe she'll be able to actually get her rest and not have to. It's so funny because she'll be sleeping here and she'll like not even open her eyes and she'll just like start barking. She'll be like she's just like, woof, woof. And like I look at her and her eyes are shut and she's still like barking a little bit. And then once the mailman gets closer, she starts like getting up and really going at it. But oh, brother. Anyway. Well, should we go ahead and end it there? We know we've gone a little longer, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure how we'd apply Rule 4 in this example, but
yeah, I mean, I think we can just briefly say, Rule 4. Well, I'll say this: we were going through is like, and maybe I was really depressed at this moment because I was looking through all of Rich's expenses over the first 6 months. I'm like, Rule 4 does not apply. Like, I am depleting every single category every month. But Hannah, you gave me hope. You said that Julep is actually contributing to your age of money.
She contributes.
Okay.
Yeah, because the less problematic her health is, the more like let me just see like what we have. She has her own category group. That's how many categories
I had her in a category group, and then I recently moved all our categories to other places, which I don't know if I like. I think I might like.
Ridge has his own group. I like.
I was thinking maybe I should put her in her own group. Yeah.
Julep category group. So right now she has over $1,000 just in boarding. So like, yeah, that's adding to our age of money for sure.
Sweet.
And then vet fund is $637. She's got $250 in her dental exam, $270 in her day play. So that's money that is getting spent like once a year, maybe, and not all of it. So yeah,
I love that you say
she's helping us build our net worth.
Exactly. You're increasing that age of money there. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh. All right. Well,
I love these paws.
Oh, so sweet. So sweet. That's the best. It's just the best. So anyways, give your pet a hug. Let me know about pet insurance. If you guys are using that, let me know if I should look into it. Because like I feel like everybody I've talked to says it's a great idea. So like if you had a bad experience, let me know because to balance it out. I don't know. It seems like
scare me, please.
Seems like people like it. So I don't know. You give it a try. And yeah, let us know about your pets, and we'll see in the next time. But we do have YNAB Wins. Should we go ahead and do that, Ernie?
Let's do it.
All right.
Who's all in your mind?
All right, welcome to YNAB Wins. I have a YNAB win from Janamon, who wrote in on an email. And Janamon wrote a bit of a longer email, but I'll just read a portion of it. They said, the YNAB method has actually changed my financial life. I have used other budgeting tools before and was very big on tracking expenses and putting a set amount of money in my savings. But every time big yearly bills and something unexpected came up, I would panic and pull the money from my savings account, and that would significantly set back my savings goals. I felt like I wasn't making any progress at all, but that changed when I found YNAB. Now I prepare for big bills all year long and have the money ready to go when the time comes. I've also managed to save for fun things like vacations and not so fun things like retirement and an emergency fund. Love it. That's so great. Yeah, the Rule 2 is just so huge for that because sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm saving a lot of money. Like this is great, but it's an illusion, because you need to end up pulling that money for other things later, and that can be really discouraging. So if if you're doing Rule 2, you might not be able to save quite as much, but you're going to be more motivated because it's just going to be ticking up all the time consistently. So yeah, love that, Janamon. That's so exciting.
My YNAB win comes from Robin. Robin sent in an email. And it was a long email, so I'm just going to read a portion of it here. My YNAB win is just how much the YNAB method and 4 rules have completely transformed the way I think about money. I was a YNAB skeptic and didn't think I needed a budget at all. Like, at all. But once I started using it, it changed the way I thought about so many things. Saving, how I use credit cards, and what my priorities, not just for money, but for my life. I went from YNAB skeptic to proud budget nerd in 6 short months.
Love it.
I've streamlined my accounts and no longer feel like I need to sit on my emergency fund like a dragon on its hoard of gold. I love that.
So good.
Most importantly, the process of creating categories and grouping them has really helped me focus my attention on my highest priorities and let go of some things and expenses that matter less. Thank you. Thank you, Robin, for sharing. That is a fantastic win. And I just love how you're talking about priorities in life, right? I mean, it just kind of reshifted everything, lining up that money with those priorities. Love it.
Love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have a YNAB win from Mama Squid. This was on the Other Little Habits of Successful YNABers Budget Nerds video. Mama Squid says, we just budgeted out 3 months for the first time, fully funded our emergency fund, another 3 months worth of expenses.
Wow.
And thanks to Hannah's video about the costs of buying a home, I set up a new master category for a home purchase with all the necessary expense categories. We're on track to buy our first home in about 3 years. That is so huge. If you have never bought a house before, my mind was blown.
Yes.
They're like,
So
by
many
the
little
way,
things.
we need 5,000 for this, 1,000 for this. It's going to be another, like, whatever. It's so
They
much
act like
money.
you're an ATM or something. It's just like constant.
But we've loved being in our home. It is so great. We plan to not move for as long as possible. So I'm excited for Mama Squid. Hope you get your home maybe even sooner.
Yeah, we'll see. Love it.
And if you have a YNAB win and you're watching the YouTube show, drop it in the comments section below. Otherwise, email us at budgetnerds@youneedabudget.com.
All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody. Let us know about your pets in the comments. I can't wait to read this. I think this is probably going to be the most fun comment section. Or send us an email if you want to let us know. And we'll see you all next time. Happy budgeting.
And Hannah, thank you so much for coming on
thank
Budget
you,
Nerds.
Hannah.
It was fantastic having you.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, it took way too long.
It really did.
I got to get on that show.
It really did. Love it.
All right. Until next time, happy budgeting.
Happy budgeting,
See you,
guys.
folks.
See you.
You are not alone.
No. We almost had it.
This is the hardest part, Hannah, and then it's normal. Then we can talk like normal people after this. All right. No, you are not.
So then I'm going.
Yes, you're going.